You had a 22-year-old daughter who already made a few mistakes. A new beginning for this single mom. It seemed like a nice young man who said to you, I will take the responsibility of your daughter and I will be a father to this 2-year-old. And you said, yes. It's like you were there, then they both slipped up. She's carrying his child. Your first mistake was to let him move in. You are correct. Ma'am. However, not a however. Judge Judy, you are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. 23-year-old Emily Austin is suing her ex-boyfriend, 22-year-old Nicholas Harden, for the trade-in value of a car. Order. All rise. Yes. Case number 6 Musketeer on the calendar. In the matter of Austin versus Harden. Thank you. You're welcome. Judge, the case has probably been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat. Oh, my goodness. Miss Austin, you and Mr. Harden were in a relationship. And for some reason, your father let Mr. Harden move into his house where you were living. Yes. When and why? We moved in after we started dating in 2012. Were you living at home? Yes, with my parents. And for some reason, they thought that it was a good idea for him to move into your house. Yes. How old were you? I have a 2-year-old son at the time, and we moved in there. And then we were going to get our own place. A 2-year-old son? Is he the father of that child? No, but he said he would take that role. So they allowed him to move in. Yes. And to assume the parental role for your toddler. Yes. How old were you? 22. And how old were you? 22. Did there come a time when you left your parents' home? Yes. After we found out that I was pregnant with his daughter, we moved into our own house on June 15th. And then he went out of town for work. And he came back and took the keys to the Jeep in the house and broke up with me. So you had been a couple for 3 years. Yes. Okay. This is what the lawsuit is about. At some point during the relationship, you want to tell me the month and year that you traded in your car. June 29th of 2015. So you traded in your car as a down payment for a new car? For him to get a 2015 Toyota Tundra? Great. That's what you were doing as a family. Yes. And then it didn't work out. So you were driving his car? Yes. And he was driving the new car? Yes. And then he left? Yes. Now, both cars are now in his name. Yes. Because he's making the payments on the Tundra. Yes. Who was making payments on the Tundra? I traded, or I gave it back to Toyota. You were making payments on it. Yes. For how long? A little over a month. So you kept the car for a month. Yes. And then you gave it back to them. Yes. How much do you still owe on it? Oh, $6? $6.37. Do you have any proof that you still owe $6 on it? $6.30. I'd like to see it. And you're driving the Jeep. Yes. So he owes $6 on $37. 32 to Toyota Motor Credit Corp. That's what he owes. Because he doesn't have that car anymore, right? And you used your car as the down payment for this car. Yes. And they gave you a credit on that car of $5. No. Yes. What kind of car did you trade in? I had a 2004 Honda Pilot. Bird, would you look up the value of a 2004 Honda Pilot? LX or EX? EXL. $6. Sykesel. Practically the same thing as what he owes for the mistake. So what you think is fair, Mrs. Austin, is to burden him not only with the $600 that he has to pay back to Toyota Motor Corp, but another $5 was NASA that was used for the trade-in. Yes, it's not going to happen. I traded my car in the hopes of getting another car. I didn't trade my car in for nothing. Well, you did. And now I have 2 children and no car. Well, that's what you should have done if you wanted to trade in your car. And the idea was that you would trade in your car, and it was going to be your car. And you were going to take the financial responsibility of paying for that car, using your car as a trade-in. He wasn't letting me work. What do you mean he wasn't letting you work? He said that I would find someone with more money than him. So I stayed home. And he would make the payment. That's your choice. If what your intention was to trade in your car and for you to assume the financial responsibility of paying for it because you're 22 years old, you're both the same age. You look perfectly able-bodied. You've already had 2 children. I assume you weren't married the first time either. No. Then what you should do is keep busy. Get a job. That will keep you busy. But you can't expect, in all fairness, any court to say, well, not only are you stuck with this debt, but she wants to get a new car. I just want back what was mine. You can't get it. It's gone. He would like the $6. Weigshaw's that was all traded in so that everybody would have a safer, I assume, a safer car to ride. And you were riding around in a 12-year-old car. It ran. And now I have proof that he gave me the Jeep. And then he took it back. He can't give you the Jeep unless you have the title. Do you have the title? No. Did he turn the title over to you? He was making payments on it. You have no case. Miss Austin, there's no legal theory upon which I'm going to award you $5. What someone did. May I say something? Sure. What Mr. Harden did, he had convinced her that she should trade in her vehicle. Initially, he was going to get her a new vehicle. It was his coercement that she trade in her vehicle. He is going to buy a new car for her and make the payments for her since she's carrying his child. Mr. Austin. Yes, ma'am. Your first mistake was to let him move in. Agreed. And I understand why you let him move in. Believe me, you know, I've been in the family court business a very long time. You had a daughter who was unmarried and had a child. And it seemed like a nice young man who said to you, I will take the responsibility of your daughter, and I will be a father to this 2-year-old. And you said, yes, it's like you were there. That's exactly what happened. So you let him move in, and you didn't say to your daughter, now, listen, next time, before this happens again, think with your brain. Make yourself an independent person, not having somebody else take care of you. Take care of yourself. Yes, ma'am. Nobody forces somebody not to work. Somebody who doesn't want to work is easily coaxed not into working. And nobody can convince you. You seem like a pretty straightforward guy. You had a 22-year-old daughter who already made a few mistakes. So then you say to her, you're not trading in that car. That car is a running car. If you trade in that car, you have to know if you let him buy a car, and it's in his name. You're not married. You have no contract. The title is in his name. You have no car anymore. You're absolutely right. Absolutely correct. And he's the same age. Not a however. Not a however. He, just like your daughter would be if she now had to go and buy a new car and put down a down payment and make payments. And he has to deal with $6. $600 that he owes as a direct result of trying to deal with everybody needing a car. She wants a car. She has no job, but she should have a car. You are correct. Ma'am. However, he did not. Neither one of them actually had informed me that they were going to do this. And it wasn't until after the fact that they had traded in this vehicle. She traded in her paid-for car. Originally, they were going to get a vehicle for her. He saw a very shiny new pickup, which he chose to get. Listen, you weren't there. You don't know. You're hearing from your daughter what transpired. I'm telling you, there isn't a legal theory upon which she can saddle him with an additional $5. Zero worth of debt. They were two stupid people who made a baby, and he's got a debt of $6. And if she wants to buy a new car, she's going to have to get a job and save up $6. No, save up $6, and buy a car. They will then each have a debt for $6. Notice, he doesn't have two cars. He only has one car. He had two vehicles. Goodbye, sir. You know exactly what I'm saying. We're done here. Apologize to your excuse, and then step out. He left me when I was pregnant and took my car. And now I have 2 kids. I got text messages of her, like, trying to cheat on me and everything. So that's where I left. A job. And they want me to pay for my own car. It's kind of been bad, because I feel that they use that against me when I'm still paying for child support or daycare to keep me from my daughter. So, and going to work and gas and finding a car is not going to be easy, hopefully. Now that's over. I can actually be able to see my daughter. I hope he doesn't try to step in, because I don't want a role model like him in my life. And now, the next case. All parties in the matter of Hackman versus McBroom. Step forward. Randy Hackman is suing his former neighbor, Corey McBroom, for the unpaid balance of a custom-built kitchen island. Mr. Hackman, you sold Mr. McBroom a custom center island for a kitchen. Yes, ma'am. You sold it because you were moving out of your apartment. Yes. When was that? September of 2013. And Mr. Broom was moving into your apartment, or an apartment in the building. An apartment in the building. Ma'am, had you known him before September of 2013? For a bit. Yes. How? Well, the apartment we lived in. I worked for the property manager for that building. He was also putting his salon into the commercial spaces that were in there. So we had worked together building out his new salon space in that building. Is that what you are? Yes. So you knew him from business?
A bit.
Yes. Okay. So I want to know, if you're a contractor and you helped him build out his salon, how were you compensated? I was under the employee of a different company, the property management company at that time. So was the property management who built his salon. Yes, ma'am. Okay, great. Now, you sold him this center island for how much? Tulay, no, Daddy. So far, that is correct. Mr. McBroom. No. Well, you say it's correct. You said it's correct that you purchased his center island for $2. Narasode. That's what you said. So what's incorrect about it? It's incorrect because the amount was never solid. We talked about an amount between $1.800 to his retail value once the product was finished. The product was finished when he got it. It was around $2.500 upon it being finished. I purchased the kitchen island for $2. No. That's the first line of your answer. Want to see it? No, I know it. I believe that. Show it to him. Thank you. Read the first line of your sworn answer. I purchased the kitchen island for $2. No. That's what it said. So you want to tell me where you were mistaken? You were mistaken in your sworn answer, or you were mistaken in your sworn testimony? There needed to be a number put down. And so there was never a number that was no. Tom, I'm just asking you. I asked you a question. Stop double talking me. Yes. I know that you. Where do you come from? Missouri. Yes, ma'am. Have you ever been to California before? I have. You have. And you liked it here. It's good. And you thought it would be a nice thing to come back again and to do this little program? I suppose. You suppose? It's good. Okay. So now there's a price that comes with that for your free trip in your hotel room. Right. You know what that price is. Being honest. Yes. Because if you're coming here to play with me, I'll put you back on the plane to Missouri. Absolutely. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am. Judge Judy continues in a moment. So at that point, there was not a barter agreement in place. The barter agreement happened. There was never a set time when payments were necessarily due or made. You're going to step all over your tie, and you're going to get very dry in the mouth. Real cases. Real people. Judge Judy. Randy Hackman says his former neighbor, Corey McBroom, owes for the balance of a custom-built kitchen island. So my question is, were you lying or not being honest when you testified a moment ago or when you signed the sworn answer? $2. No, let's go. Better. Now, how much did you pay him in dollars? How much did you pay him in the currency of the United States of America? In currency? Cash deposits initially when he moved the island. Of how much? $300. And after that, PayPal. Electronic transfer from credit and debit was $420. Anything else? Haircut services. No. In cash. Not wampum. Not barter. Cash money. That is all the cash. So $720 is what you paid on the $2. That's what item. And what your defense is that Mr. Hackman agreed to take the rest out in barter for haircuts. Yes, ma'am. Because that's what you do for a living. Yes, ma'am. Haircuts. Okay, that was not the case. Your Honor, Mr. Hackman doesn't look like he ever cuts his hair. Are you talking about Mr. Hackman's haircuts? I could cut Mr. Hackman's hair. Whose haircut? His, and his multiple girlfriends. Okay, great. Fine. So I assume you kept a ledger on that. I have a ledger of his haircuts. Just a second. The answer is either yes or no. So you kept a ledger of his? Yes. Okay. How many haircuts did you give Mr. Hackman? I've documented 9. And how many do you have documented for his girlfriends? I don't have his documented. I did bring a witness that did the hair. How many does the witness have documented from an appointment book? From a ledger? How many? None documented. Then I'm not interested. So we have 9 haircuts. And what you're saying is that those 9 haircuts equal $1. That's the 40. The haircuts. I have 9 haircuts documented from him. Equals $540. And then I have the PayPal. $375. Cash deposit. $300. No, just a second. You just told me $420 and $300. That's $720. For his haircuts. No, you said that you paid him in cash $700 from PayPal accounts in the cash deposit, which was $720. He's not suing for $2. No, he's suing for $1. $240. What you're suggesting is the 9 haircuts that you did for him. You did. And the equivalent of that was the remainder of what you owed him was $1. Yes. Okay. Now, tell me when you had the discussion with Mr. Hackman that transferred the issue of the money that was owed. Cash money. Currency. To barter. Tell me about that. That happened. You started paying him back. And when was the last day you gave him a cash payment? Or a PayPal payment? It would have been the end of last year. Less than 6 months. What's the date? You have it. You must have it down. I do. 8/15/2015. Okay. It was when you gave him, just a second, when you gave him money? Yes. So at that point, in August of 2015, there was not a barter agreement in place. The barter agreement happened every once in a while, whenever he needed a haircut. And then what we would do is, there was never a set time when payments were necessarily due or made. You're going to step all over your tie, and you're going to get very dry in the mouth. Yes, Judge Judy continues in a moment. You only have 5 here. I should have 9. Men's haircut and style. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My favorite. Real cases. Real people. Judge Judy. Randy Hackman says his former neighbor, Corey McBroom, owes for the balance of a custom-built kitchen island. Now, are you telling me that prior to August of 2015, you had an agreement with Mr. Hackman that you were going to deduct what you owed him from haircuts that you gave him? Tell me when that conversation took place. Earlier that year, earlier in 2015, and initially when we first agreed that I was purchasing the island as well. Is that correct? Sir, it was earlier than that, but his numbers are way incorrect. Your Honor, you had, however, discussed with him barter. Yes. And how much were you attributing to each of your 9 haircuts? Well, there was only 6 haircuts, Your Honor, and 1 additional for a girlfriend at the time. Each haircut, he charges a retail value of $35 for. Is that correct? And I took $60, the full monthly payment, off for each haircut. So he was making boon off of that as well. Okay, so first thing I'd like to see is the ledger register of 9 haircuts. Is this the book that you use, sir, or is this something that you prepared for me today? That is the book that I did use at the time. And so what I can do is pull up a specific client's list of appointments. Well, you only have 5 here. I should have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me show 5. Men's haircut and style. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing. So if I were to call your salon now, is it open or closed? It's by appointment. So it is available upon request. What does that mean? By appointment only. So there's no receptionist necessarily. All my clients directly contact me. Is there a physical space in your salon? Yes, you have a physical space. How many people work in your salon? 3. You're 1. You're 2. Who's the 3rd? His name's Grant. He's another stylist that we work with. And he doesn't come into the salon. He does. So he may be there now. I don't believe. He might. Okay. So if I had somebody call and say I want a men's haircut and style, how much would I be advised that that would be for just a men's haircut? That's for a short haircut. Though, Your Honor, Mr. Hackman, he likes his hair long. So I charge him a women's price of $60. Okay. You paid him $7.20. And according to both of you, you agreed to barter haircuts. He says he had 7. You have 5. He says it was $35. You say it was $45 for a man. But I charge him for a woman's haircut. I'm giving you credit for $45 for the 5 haircuts that you can prove, which is $225. That's 5. That's 4. That's 9. $9.45. I never received $700 or whatever he's saying in cash from him. Well, you're not suing him, sir, for 2. No discredit. You're suing him for $1. Do 140. But if you're adding that up to get to the $1, do investi, and he's got extraneous numbers in there, that's going to change that amount. Your Honor, what I showed. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $1. No fee, sir. We're done. Thank you. Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, it just took too long. It was 2 years. It was supposed to be a quick 6, 8 months. It was a very casual thing. It was a bar island. I was doing it as a favor. Really? And then online, I saw that he and his boyfriend took a trip to French Polynesia. And to help him out, I have the bar. He's got some extra dough. Good for him. He was building out a new salon. If he can afford those, he can afford to pay me $1. Do a secret. And, hopefully we can move past it. I gave it the whole shebang. So that's that. Everything's got to be written from now on and documented numerous times. Randy's a good guy. I don't want to hold anything against him on it. This case was always up and it was very casual. So this is what happened.